Follow us through eternity.
I don't really know him.
Time will come and time will go. The years will pass us by. When I think about it, it always makes me smile. You might think the decade you grew up in was the greatest. There was nothing better than growing up as a kid in the 80s.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Larry, that's Jim, I'm Larry. We want to thank all you wonderful people, and it turns out we have a bunch of new friends and allies with us this time around.
We do. Thank you to our new subscribers and new listeners and new watchers and all that jazz. And here we are for episode 3 of season 3. How you doing today?
No, just trying to take my mind off of whatever's going on the outside and bring it in here so we can talk about something a little bit more friendlier, something to take your mind off of it. Call us an entertaining distraction.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you like entertaining distractions, by all means, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when new stuff comes out. So anyway, we've had a, are you stuck? Are you stuck?
No, I'm just making sure they know what the thumbs up looks like.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we've had, in this episode, we've got a bit of a focus going on, at least for the first half of the episode.
Yes, we do.
On veterans and their involvement in this collecting world and everything else and so on and so forth. You, of course, yourself are a vet.
Yes, I am.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're very, very welcome.
And, we here at Allies, of course, being veteran-owned and operated, and we are very much concerned about taking care of our people who have taken care of us. And recently, I shouldn't say recently, it's been a while.
It's been a hot minute.
But but in terms at least of shows and stuff coming out with him in it, we recently introduced you guys very briefly to Uncle Bob.
Yes, Uncle Bob is an amazing person. He is a Navy veteran, retired, full benefits, and he decided that he wanted to open a toy store in Lemoyne.
Yes, and we initially first encountered Bob when we went to the beer launch that you saw on the last show, and he had a certain what looked like a drink container.
Yes, the tobacco pipe you're referring to.
The tobacco pipe,
tobacco pipe you were referring to.
And it's funny how a good laugh and everything else gets you talking to people. And then we ran into him again at Toys for the Ages, which of course is going to be coming up in a future episode very soon. Our entire account of what it took to get a big show like that off the ground. We were there from the very first day to the very last day, so it was a very cool thing. And we talked to him there a bit. And then we found out that he was opening a store.
Yes, Uncle Bob has always been a very good friend of the show.
Yes.
And has been very open with us and has been very welcoming. And we were fortunate enough to get there on opening day.
We were. So, without any further ado, Uncle Bob's Vintage Toys.
December afternoon at the grand opening of Uncle Bob's Vintage Toy Shop. Uncle Bob is a good friend of ours, he's a fellow veteran, something that I'm familiar with. Why don't we go inside and take a look at his wares, shall we?
What do you? Oh no! You have a tank.
Did you not see this?
Yes, there's a tank.
there is a tank.
Well, you need to relax.
Well, I feel like riding it down Main Street.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
I have my license.
No, yeah, but that's not. Oh God.
But that's not the highlight. That's not the thing.
Oh, what have we there?
It's right here.
Wait a second. What is that?
The Atari 2600 controller for the game Combat.
No, that's Coleco.
Oh.
I'm seeing the logo on it. There's the Coleco right above the. Yeah. That's pretty neat.
Look at that. So it kind of makes. Oh, and there's the TV.
look at that. There's a rarity.
So do you think this is the actual game? Do you think you
I don't know if that's is that.
Yeah, you plug it in. I plugged it into the TV and you can hear it.
So it is the actual game.
It's the actual combat game. It's the old school combat game that you would have hooked up to your UHF, and then you would play over your TV. But I don't have a TV that's analog. I don't know if it'll work on digital.
Oh, we have a CRT.
That is a Reading Deluxe. And this thing at one time would drive. It doesn't drive anymore. I tried it, but it's got its treads. And you would put either a ball or a bullet shape, I forget what it was, in it, and you would cock it back and it would fire. I don't know if it works anymore. I'm afraid to do it. But yeah, and you drive it along. These were from like the 70s when I was a kid. I remember Reading Deluxe from when I was a kid. They made that little Rebel Yell cannon too. You remember that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that same company. Very, very cool stuff.
Well, this is what I drove when I was in the Army.
Oh, you were a tanker?
I was a tanker.
Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
So,
Well,
like,
thank you
oh
for
my
your service,
God.
brother.
No, thank you for yours.
Absolutely.
Finally found him, out in the wild. I told you about the possibility of Bigfoot.
No, wait a minute. That's
He
not.
does exist.
No.
Yeah, he signed this.
It's the.
He signed Best Wishes, Larry, Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, also known as the Yeti, also known as Harry. You got to ask the Hendersons about that one.
I don't even know what to say about that.
Yeah, that's right. You don't.
Oh, Lord.
Fire it out. They would probably say.
What?
They did that a lot. This would have been your controller. I love how it looks like a radio. It's stuff they did back then. And it's cool that it still has this track. Yeah.
Baby Ludo.
They usually get disintegrated. This is Uncle Bob's Vintage Toys.
All right, and this is your opening day.
This is our opening day. Yep.
Outstanding. So tell us a little bit about how you got into this.
Oh God, I've been interested in toys since I was a kid. I mean, and God, how long have we been buying and selling, Shelly? Quite a few years now, at least 8-10 years, and just collecting along the way. You know.
How did the store happen?
Well, I am retired. I'm a disabled vet, and they retired me from the post office a few years back, and we've just been saving money, and you know, it's just kind of a dream to open up our own place. You know, we were selling in antique malls and booths and things like that, toy shows, and then it just eventually grew where we got enough money together to buy a store.
And how did this happen? You said this happened really quickly. So,
oh well, we were looking at one property and we had some issues with the seller. It didn't work out. Had a lot of problems. And then one night, Shelly and I were discussing what our next move was, and an email popped up. And that was about a month and a half ago. And we went and looked at it that night and put in an offer. 2 weeks later, we owned the place.
wow, and here you are,
We've been renovating it for like a month,
and now you're open.
Now we're open. We are at 305 Herman Avenue, and that's in Lemoyne, PA. Central Pennsylvania. We're just across the river from Harrisburg. We are 2 minutes from the exit off of I-83 South or North.
Outstanding.
Clearly, you can see there's a raisin brand here.
Well, I believe that's nothing like a bag of raisins.
Bag of raisins.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're into the California raisins, aren't you?
I mean,
Isn't that one of your deals?
I mean, not near as much as drunk Adrian is.
Oh.
For Larry.
Hi.
Ooh, I heard through the grapevine. This has been 80.
Oh well, yeah. We don't need to concern ourselves with him right now.
Yeah. You know, this is one of those things you don't often see places. The kids' books.
Yeah, book rack.
But we all had them as a kid. This was I mean, a ton of this stuff.
Oh, the little golden.
Yeah, the little golden books.
Yeah. If I could find them. I know they're somewhere.
He-Man Smells Trouble. That has Stinkor in it.
Yeah, I had that one. There's some other ones that I had here.
Didn't your mother destroy your Stinkor?
Yeah, we aren't going to talk.
We don't talk about that?
No. Something about it smelling like hippie.
Oh, still a sore subject.
Yes. Strawberry shortcake.
Yeah. Now, since we saw a bag of raisins, do you suppose this is a bin of shortcake?
It's a bin of fruit, that's for sure, because each one represented a
well, yeah, you got
fruit.
a dessert anyway. You got apple dumpling here. What the heck is this?
Apricot.
Apricot and hops a lot, I believe, was the bunny's name, if I remember right.
My little sister, or my older sister, had a huge collection of these growing up when she was a child. The one thing she didn't have was the baker.
No, that's not the baker. That is the peculiar purple pie man of Porcupine Peak. You put some stink on that name.
Yep. It's that ornery, mean, and miserable, silly old sneak, the peculiar purple pie man of Porcupine Peak.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Right.
Whatever gets you down the road, boss. I had this bowl.
Bowl?
I had this cup.
You had Smurf bowls and cups.
I had a Smurf bowl and a cup when I was a young man.
Nice.
A young Larry. Now I'm an old and cranky Larry. But, we don't need to go down there.
Emphasis on the cranky.
Yeah, that's enough out of you.
Huh.
22, 26.
Here is some money.
You're really gonna do me like that? Here I am, just trying to get B-roll, and you're just gonna.
Well, it's about me. You got me in the shot.
Oh God.
But no, the good people at Uncle Bob's, veteran owned and operated, something we fully support here at 80s Allies because we're veteran owned and operated too.
Absolutely.
Couldn't make me happier to support another veteran owned and operated establishment. Thank you for inviting us into your store.
Coming, man. Thank you for your service, brother.
Thanks for having us, and thank you for your service. So, I guess that's it here at Uncle Bob's. Guess I'll take my big foot and my bat and beat you on the way to the car.
Wait, what? Well, he's got a really good store there, doesn't he?
Oh man, I'm glad that's over. Why did you tell me I had to hold that pose the entire time?
I didn't tell you had to hold that pose the entire time. Of course, I also didn't tell you to stop doing it.
See what I got to work with? And people wonder why I am the way that I am. Anyway, it was very, very grateful to have Uncle Bob open his doors and bring us in. It was very, very nice. If you get down there, please go enjoy that store. Do what you possibly can. And if you have the directions and instructions to how to fix that tank, let somebody know.
Yeah, really. That thing was really, really, really cool.
It was really cool.
I was really taken by the combat individual video game.
Oh, the Coleco.
That was like the original Pong setup. I had never seen that before. My introduction to combat was the cartridge that went into the Atari 2600. I didn't know that there had been just its own freestanding game before that for home use. So that was really neat to see, and I'd love to at least borrow that from him and hook it up to our CRT to see if it works, because he was trying to hook it up to a modern day television, which is not going to work.
Well, my introduction to combat was that wonderful show that they did in the 1960s and 70s, and they shot a whole bunch until the last 15 to 10 minutes, and then everybody managed to hit their target.
I don't know that I've ever seen that.
You've never seen combat?
I don't think I have.
Oh man, it's a very, very interesting show. If you get a chance to watch it.
I'm running back in my mind, and I don't think I've ever seen that.
But I should preface that I initially thought that combat plugged into the 2600. I assumed that there was like a hoo-ha that you jury rigged in there and you plugged it in and then you could use the controllers. I had no idea it was a freestanding machine.
Yeah, that was very, very cool. I loved seeing that. And of all the things we saw at the store that day, that's the one that stuck with me. And by the way, the baker from Strawberry Shortcake.
Yeah, as a baker. You can tell how often I paid attention to Strawberry Shortcake.
Did you not hear what I told you that day? That is the peculiar purple pie man of Porcupine Peak.
I could have a limerick put together, but I don't think that we would be monetized, or we would probably get demonetized if I did.
Well, there's that.
We're going to move on because I'm a horrible person.
We are, but we're not going to get too far away from the topic of veterans and that sort of thing because recently you had the privilege.
Yes, it was a distinct privilege.
And honor of being asked to speak. And I'll let you explain all the ins and outs of this.
Well, what happened was, and this is a great story. Well, actually, it's not a great story. It takes all of 3 minutes. They found out that I was having an issue getting my VA benefits, and I got a hold of them, and they helped me out with that, and I said thank you. And they said, oh, by the way, would you like to speak during Veterans Day? Not realizing who they were going to get when speaking at Veterans Day. And I said, sure. And they shot back, okay, typically we have our veterans speak anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. At which point I said, would you mind if I had a little bit more time? And they said, sure. And they were like, come on down, come see it. So I went down. Unfortunately, you weren't able to make it that day because...
Yeah, I had the evil day job.
Yeah, the evil day job got a hold of him.
Yeah.
So I went down, and it was under our assumption, and when I got down there and I saw everything, it was supposed to be filmed, all 3 speeches, wonderful guys that I spoke with. Unfortunately, I don't remember any of their names, nor did I think to write them down, so I humbly apologize to you other gentlemen. It was a pleasure working with you. But we got down... Hey, that's enough out of you.
I didn't say anything.
But we got down there, and we were under the assumption that this was going to be live streamed, and then it was going to go up on the Penn State Harrisburg YouTube channel, and it never made it because of certain instances that I'm just not going to go with, which were kind of egregious and should have never have happened. But because we have the ability to do certain things, and we have our own in-house video editor.
We have the footage. We do have the footage, and I have to tell you that, as a result of the footage being recorded, I did get a chance to see it, before you gave me the footage to put together for this. And, I don't know what I was expecting initially. I think because of what it was, I was expecting something, I guess, dry, and it wasn't at all, because you took this in a direction that I was not expecting at all. And it was a beautiful speech. And you're probably wondering why we're putting it on 80s Allies. Well, I think when you hear the opening of the speech, you're going to get a pretty good idea. So for your perusal, even though this is something a little different for us, Larry's speech for Veterans Day.
(2010 to 2016). He was stationed at the notorious Fort Hood, Texas, as I was, as well as Fort Bliss. During his service, he was deployed twice. He did Iraq and the long haul in Afghanistan. So thank you for that, brother. In addition to pursuing his master's degree, He also works full-time for the Military Entrance Processing Station, better known as MEPS. So please give a round of applause to my brother Larry.
I am honored and humbled to celebrate our First Amendment rights with all of you today. Who in their right mind would allow me in front of a crowd with a live microphone and permission to say anything I want to? Nobody. My wife Jess and my mother and father are here, and they themselves know their presence will not deter me from being profound. I have been to many of these presentations, but this is the first one where I'm part of the display. When you are asked to present at occasions like this, you assume the role of the display until it is your turn to speak. Then you move to the podium, deliver the message you desire over the public address system, then return to your assigned position of the display. Some of the members of the display do not get to say anything, and the best part about being in the display is you get to sit down. There are many loved ones here today in support of myself and the other members of the display, and they have the same thought. Sitting down is good. For 6 years, I was told to stand in front of the display in the rain, the cold, the heat, the wind, the snow, standing on grass, mud, concrete, gravel, dirt, sand, and in a puddle, while a member of the display went on to thank people I never met, organizations I've never been in, and to deliver a message they thought was gripping and was important. Only the audience, the one I was a part of, had been standing around for 2 hours before the display member attempted to enlighten us with points they tried to make. It was at this juncture I realized rank does not translate to public speaking. When I was voluntold to attend these displays, I made a promise to myself, thinking of speeches while staring blankly at the back of someone's head. If I ever had the opportunity to be part of the display, I would thank every conceivable person I ever met, like my 5th and 6th grade teacher, Miss Barbara J. Muhammad, who was also my father's favorite jazz singer, and who was the first person to recognize my true talents and hoped I used them. I would also ramble on about something only important to me. So today, I'm going to use my allotted time to discuss Voltron, the defender of the universe. For those of you who don't know, Voltron is created by taking 5 robot lions, black, red, green, yellow, and blue, and have them come together to form a giant robot known as Voltron. Think Power Rangers, only way cooler. When I was a child, the only thing I wanted to do more than anything outside of being a Ghostbuster was piloting a Voltron lion. The closest thing I could find was operating a tank. Now you might be saying to yourself, why not be an airline or helicopter pilot? My answer is, tanks do not have the option to fall out of the sky. They could, but not at the same height. And they never showed me what button to press to take 5 tanks and form a giant robot. I come from a long line of veterans to the point my bloodline calls military service and family business. As far as I know, the first veteran in my bloodline was my great-great-uncle who served in World War I. My grandfather enlisted as a radio man on a destroyer in the Pacific during World War II. My other grandfather served in Italy, where he met the Pope at the time. My great-uncle airdropped supplies during Korea, and my Uncle Kurt repaired ejector seats, and no one complained if they worked or not. My father, currently the only member of our family who went career, enlisted on Veterans Day and served during Vietnam. He also served on the DMZ in South Korea and during Operation Desert Storm on a post in Bitburg, Germany. It was there where he was told after the 100th phone call to quit calling headquarters and asking if he could go to the desert. They needed him where they said they needed him, regardless of his opinion. People wonder where I get it from. I currently have a nephew, my godson, who is serving in California. I enlisted at the ripe old age of 28. I was delivering produce at the time and came to a point where I told myself there must be more to life than this. When they asked why I decided to join the Army, I had 3 answers. My first was, I had nothing better to do. This was true at the time. My second was, where am I ever going to get to drive a tank? And my third answer, I wanted to support and defend the First Amendment to the best of my abilities. Where I was in my life, I wanted to do something meaningful, something I had never done before, and something I found impossible. I wanted to see if I had what it took to become a soldier. My father hated my decision to operate a tank, but there are times where you must defy your parents. I told my Joe I was going to quit and join the Army to drive a tank, and his answer was short and blunt. Go. I said, are you sure? He said, you aren't going to go any farther here, and you got to do what's best for you. Go. We're friends to this day. It was working on the tank I learned many things that I still use to this day. The first is you will spend 90% of your time doing something people will never see and be judged by the 10% that they do. The only person to see 100% is you. Working on the tank to be fluid and looking things up, to be part of a team, to know this hunk of metal and gears does not care who you are. Its job is to blow stuff up and run things over. There is a plate on the back of a tank you must get to and must remove to get to the engine fluids, affectionately called the female dog plate, because it is a female dog to get on and off. Learning the patience to get this plate on and off was a task. As the lowest member on the tank, it was my responsibility to care for the hull, keep the track lubed and tight so it did not fall off the road wheels, keep it fueled, and the engine oiled. And because I was driving, I took my duty seriously. My tank would have no issues getting Sergeant Fernandez, Specialist Gibson, and Specialist McNerney to the target and making it disappear. There is no greater feeling than controlling tons of steel at 45 miles an hour. Then they took my tank away, gave me a truck, and sent me to Iraq, where I stuck my head out of a hatch. I repeated this again in Afghanistan, only I was able to control the gun from the inside. On behalf of myself, my family, and my friends, I want to thank Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Cavalry Regiment, 2nd Brigade, 1st Cavalry Division, for protecting me and bringing me home. Without you, I would not be standing here today. You were the ones who told me that I was smarter than the job I was doing, and I could do so much more. And because of this, I refuse to let you down or allow you to escape my memory. Especially Sergeant Ski, who kept my head in the game after I had to do my job. To Sergeant Plotz, who drank copious amounts of coffee with me as our world burned around us. And Sergeant France, who is still out there blowing stuff up. I am grateful for everything you have done for me, and if this is the only way I can repay my debt, so be it. After Afghanistan, the unit I was in was set to go to South Korea. My father gave me advice. When my father gives advice, there is a 50-50 chance that he is right, and a 50-50 chance I will take it. His advice was, if you no longer are having fun, get out. After 6 years, I was done. My wife, Jess, who when the world has beaten me into the ground, nothing is going right, and I feel hopeless and lost, gives me the best hugs ever and tells me everything's going to be okay. I hope you all have a Jess in your life. She suggested I use the GI Bill and go to college. My response was, you mean the one thing I have always wanted to do my entire life but never had the money or the time to do it, but I do now? She said yes, so I did. The writing was on the wall. I knew I would be in an administrative role and probably never get to really tank on the tank that I ever got to tank again. It was time for something new. My wife got me into listening to Dropkick Murphys, a band we have seen multiple times, and she made a flag for one of their shows. I display it proudly in the room she calls my bat cave. They wrote a song called Boys on the Docks, and part of the lines in one of their songs still resonates with me. Though it starts with your fist, it must end with your mind. This is where I am. My war was over, but a new one has begun. A quote from Lars Fredrickson. It was Dr. Lewis from the sociology department who discovered me at a community college where I was attending and working in the VA office processing education benefits. He brought me to this university where I earned a bachelor's in sociology. Jeff Hawks allowed me to do my internship at the Army Heritage Center under his watch. Dr. Kupfer, who is here today, and Dr. Buccitelli decided I was sharp enough to attain a master's in American Studies, what I am studying today. The rowdy bunch of superstar wrestling gave me the camaraderie I sorely missed when I was out of the Army, and through them, I met my broadcast partner, Jim. We started 80s Allies and Attic Light Productions together. I also have my support from the team from the MEPS, who've accepted me and all my quirks, and through them provided me with the motivation to become a focused leader, a proficient teammate, and a reminder of what right looks like. This is how I'm choosing to fight the war after the war. No one mentions the war after the war when you're finished with service. They thank you, then move on. To combat the war after the war, I must use my benefits. I must get an education. I must go to the laundry list of doctor's appointments. I do this for myself and for those around me. There are those who will not use the benefits or get the help they need. There is a predisposition seeking help is weak. It's frowned upon. There are veterans who want to give their benefits to the other guy who had it worse, even though the other guy has their own they can use. I theorize the reason for this is because of the word disability. We gave to our nation the best years of our lives and are being compensated for the physical, mental, and emotional stress. It does not mean we are broken, but there are those who are suffering and are continuing to suffer because they see the word disabled and assume that it is negative, or get so frustrated with the application process they just give up. We were athletes of a different nature, strapping 50% of our body weight on for as long as 18, 19, 20 plus hours a day in environments most will never see in their lifetime. We all come back with something, if we get to come back at all. My goal is for every veteran within the sound of my voice is for you to use your benefits. Imagine if we all did. Imagine the advancement in medicine, if veteran care was studied from head to toe. Imagine if the advancement of psychological study, joint study, blood study, and overall health. Imagine how many jobs would be created if all veterans used their benefits. More doctors, health care, professional administrators, shorter wait times, and less hoops to jump through. Imagine if all veterans used their GI Bill. The professional job market would experience a renaissance it has not seen in years. You do not need to use your GI Bill for college. You can use it for a trade school. The only reason why I'm in college is because I can't nail two boards together. You can become a plumber, an electrician, a mechanic, work in construction, law enforcement, become a truck driver or a firefighter, just to name a few. And if you have the mentality for academics, go get a degree in business, music, advertising, administration, science, technology, and history. Then all the veterans with these skills can go into the job market with the discipline and structure and have careers outside of the veteran-friendly manual labor jobs being offered. Veterans are good at picking things up and putting them down, but they're capable of so much more. We as veterans have an obligation to use our benefits because some of our brothers and sisters will never get to use theirs, either because they gave it all for the nation or lost the war after the war. We are in this together, and together we will succeed. My first Voltron was built by my father on the floor of a government housing apartment building in Neuön, Germany. I was told I could have it if I cleaned my room. Years later, I have cleaned many rooms, built my own Voltrons, and instead of operating a Lion, became one myself. Remarks complete.
Well, there it is, folks. He did a great job. And again, thank you for your service, and thank you out there to all the veterans for their service over the years here in the United States of preserving our freedom, both here and the freedoms of those everywhere else as well.
And I want to thank each and every one of you who showed up. It was very nice to see my coworkers there. I mean, every
single word that I said. Please, if you are a veteran, go use your benefits. Figure out a way to get your benefits activated. Do something. Education, healthcare, something. Please go use your benefits, because I mean it deep from the bottom of my heart. The more veterans that use their benefits, the more we can turn things around.
Yeah. It's because it's right now, the rates of people that are, and we have to be careful what words we use just for the algorithms and such, but people are harming themselves.
Yes.
That people that, did everything for us, and they're slipping through the cracks, and this cannot happen.
Yeah, people are losing the war after the war, and there's no reason why you should lose the war after the war. And if you are downtrodden, and if you're hurt, or you feel like you're hurting in any way, please reach out to somebody.
Even if it's us, seriously. One of the reasons we do 80s Allies is to bring joy to people.
Yeah.
And especially in times like our current times, which are very stressful and everything else. This is a place of joy and a place of safety. So just know that 80s Allies is always here for you, no matter what's going on in your mind.
And we have been very, very forthcoming of how we want to bring people into our community.
Yeah.
We never understood the whole gatekeeper.
No, not at all.
Thing.
Not at all.
It always bothered us, and like, oh, you don't like it the way I like it, so you're not allowed to enjoy it the way that I enjoy it, because you don't enjoy it the way I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that here.
No, absolutely not.
We want you to enjoy it the way that you want to enjoy it, the way that it's intended, because the stuff here is to explore your imagination. That's the reason why we do this, is because his imagination and my imagination are two totally different things. However, when they come together, it could be very, very interesting and chaotic and weird. But we like it when it's interesting, chaotic, and weird.
And create some of the things that these people are looking at going, what in God's name are they doing?
Why did you think that was a good idea?
Well,
we did.
We did. What can we say?
And we have fun with it.
Yeah, and speaking of fun and getting a little bit lighthearted, you'll notice here we have Pac Man and Ms. Pac Man, a little throwback to the 80s. This one in particular is actually quite rare. There were two different ones made of Ms. Pac Man, and they're very, very difficult to find. I have both of them, thankfully, but the little Pac Man guys you can get pretty cheap, but she's hard to find.
Had I known we were going to do this, because somebody didn't tell me, I could have brought my Pac-Man from when I was a little kid, which you saw.
I have seen it
in the blue shirt that sits in my house, and I could have propped it up right then and there.
You
could,
but you didn't, because you didn't prepare for the show. You just show up.
Oh! I didn't prepare for the show.
Yeah,
I'm just not going to tell you anything, and then we're going to go ahead and throw it to this, and then you know what? We're going to do the same thing to Adrian, which is exactly what we did.
Yeah, well, we did, in fact. Back in the 80s when Pac Man was very, very popular, for those of you that were there, if you know, you know.
Yes.
For those that weren't, Pac Man for a number of years was everywhere.
Yes.
Everything had Pac Man on it. You couldn't get away from Pac Man. Pac Man fever, as they called it, was everywhere and was just all encompassing. And so one of the things that was created at that time was a Pac Man picture disc, which for those of you that don't know what a picture disc is, it's a record that is pressed in clear vinyl, and within the vinyl there is a piece of cardboard or whatever that has images on both sides of it, so that when children got the record, it had images of Pac-Man and everything else.
Yes.
And I'll put the pictures of the picture disc I'm talking about up here. And if you were a kid at that time, between the ages of probably about 2 and 7, in all likelihood you had this thing. I mean, we all had it. It was what it was. And some of us loved it back then. But if you ever by chance listened to it as an adult, wow.
You're going to say words.
Well, I
you should use those words.
I'm not. Instead, I'm just going to offer that opportunity to the individual who's going to review the Pac Man album, our good buddy Adrian, with another episode of Over the Top.
And to help me with this is my assistant, Adrian.
Wait, what?
Oh, God.
Adrian!
What the hell?
How are you today?
I don't, you've got to get back here, all right?
What do you mean I need? No, I'm not coming back. I am not coming back. You know the mistreatment and stuff that I went through dealing with the mullets and LarMan.
No, he's already adopted this new sidekick now. He's using flamer. We can't have this.
Oh, he's got another assistant. Oh, that's good. Well, sounds like you guys got it all covered. Don't call me. I'm hiding.
I don't care that you're hiding. You have to get back here.
Well, I'm not coming back there. You know what? Here, let me tell you where I'm at.
Hello.
Alright. I mean, the ad seems nice. Okay. Hey! I'm Adrian. I answered the ad about a roommate. Yeah, well, no, this is basically all I have. Yeah. What do you mean, some requirements? What are you talking about, requirements? Okay. I have a strong jawline. Okay. Man, I'm gonna need you to. I see you got some pets here. That's cool. Thank you. Okay. Well, all right. I guess we're gonna show me place. That's fine. Yeah, this seems cool. This seems good. This seems good. I think that does it. Welcome to another edition of Over the Top with Adrian. I'm contractually obligated to do these, so yeah, I want you guys to know that I'm doing this under duress from an undisclosed location. So tonight I will be reviewing the Pac Man album. Yeah, you heard me. It's Pac Man album. They came out with an album. Back in 1982. I'm telling you, cocaine was a thing. It was very prevalent. Very prevalent. I don't understand why would you, you know what? That's not for me to decide, right? Like I said, I'm doing this under protest, and you 80s allies know that I've suffered greatly for this show. Undisclosed location. So, Patrick McBride and Dana Walden, the Pac Man album. Let's make it happen. You sure this ain't from the 70s? This sounds like a massive acid drop. Oh, it didn't. This sounds like a bad Jimmy Buffett song. Or something they play right before you drink the punch. If you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean by the punch. Oh yeah, this is definitely drug influenced. No, it's not. I'm not high enough for this. Not high at all. The Magic Land. You hear that? The Magic Land. Why? Why?
It's a land of imagination. It's a land of excitement. It's the land of whatever you want it to be.
I want it to be over.
And if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm the Pac Man.
Oh, you're the Pac Man.
One guy around here in this magic land.
Well, then how the hell I get out of here?
I'm not conceited or anything. It's just that I am one fast yellow fellow.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, can you take your fast yellow ass and get me from watching this? I feel like I need a belt to hang myself with. If you played this backwards, I'm pretty sure the devil appears.
Never question how much fun I am.
I'm questioning. Making sure my eyes still look the same. They seem dilated to you, as someone gave me a contact high.
Like I said, I am number one.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a goofy bunch of ghosts. Speedy, Pokey, Bashful, and Shadow that are trying to chase me out of town.
I would chase you out of town.
Of course, but they sure do try hard.
They need to try harder.
They love to chase me.
Mm-hmm.
Just between you and me, I think they like being chased too.
Oh, that's...
But they're not always racing and chasing.
They're speaking in hieroglyphics. Woodle doo boo. That's like a feather, an elbow, a cat, and the upside down question mark. Oh, this I recognize.
Well, here we go again. The chase is on. I better get one of my energizers. Every time I get an energizer, those ghosts turn blue.
They mess with my childhood. I'm turning blue. Help.
I'm back.
Hopefully this next one's better. Hopefully.
Every minute of every hour
What the
of
freak
every
is
day
talking
of
about?
every week of every month of every year. It's so much fun. The racing and chasing, going down the tunnels, through the mazes. They come after me, I make a left, they make a right. It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Pac Man never pays any attention to me, Miss Pac Man.
I love to play in the mazes through the tunnels of the city all day. Now I know how you feel.
Did he just rap?
We could be friends and happy as can be.
Aren't they cute? And isn't
No.
it fun to imagine?
No.
You know, one nice thing about pretending is that you can go any place, anytime you want to.
Doesn't work.
All you have to do is close your eyes and you're there. Some people call it a game. Well, maybe it is. But if it's a game,
Shit, I'm still
I
here.
want to play it over and over and over again.
Well, we should have fun. But we hope that you did too, right, Mr. Pac Man?
Nope. I ain't had no fun with this.
Let's go, Mr. Pac Man. Come on, let's go. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Why else are singing? Bye. Is it over? Is it over? And the song comes back. So I just got finished listening to the Pac Man album by Patrick McBride and Dana Walton, made in 1982. And yeah, so here we go. This has to be the introduction to some sort of cult, because that music was absolutely terrible. This shows me why cocaine was very prevalent in the 80s, because no person in their right mind would come up with that shit and be like, that's an album. What the hell was Pac Man talking about, chasing pipes and mazes all day? And he was real interested in them ghosts. Real interested, like a little too interested. You get what I'm saying? Like he was all about chasing the ghost. All about it. All about it. As I stated before during the review, that sounded like a gorilla, a silverback, may I add, aggressively banging a badger without consent. Aggressively. Did LarMan put y'all up to this? And I'm not talking about marijuana. I'm talking about like all the illicit acid that you can get your hands on. Is that even a thing? That's the thing. This thing done cost me 12 brain cells, and I think I gained 40 pounds by sitting here. So they wanted a review for it. I got a review. Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Friend Steve, time to put that jawline to work.
Help.
You know, that album was special.
Yes.
I particularly love that Pac Man theme that sounds like it's induced by some sort of strong psychotropic drug.
I am disappointed it didn't have the song Pac Man Fever on it.
You know what? I'm fairly certain, I will have to check on the date, but I'm fairly certain that the album predates Pac Man Fever dropping by Buckner and Garcia.
Would you like a little bit of trivia?
Sure.
A little nugget of knowledge?
Yes.
All right. So the song Pac Man Fever, all right, was used in the background in Mid-South Wrestling for Precious Paul Ellering when he was getting ready to come back to the ring after a knee injury. However, when he came back for the knee injury, it turned out that his knee was even worse off than what it started with, in which he turned out to be the manager for a very, very popular duo known as the Road Warriors,
who became the Legion of Doom
in WWF.
In WWF, yeah.
Yes, but before that, he was a legitimate wrestler, and to hype himself up and get himself mentally prepared to get back in the ring, they would shoot vignettes of him getting ready and getting back into shape to get in the ring.
To Pac Man Fever.
To the song Pac Man Fever.
Which in and of itself is a ridiculous song.
Well, Precious Paul Ellering in and of himself is a ridiculous human being.
Okay, well, there's that. That's absolutely true.
But yeah, I figured I'd throw that out there.
Shout out to Paul Ellering, who's probably one of the best talkers the business ever saw. And a great guy.
Absolutely. And had he not been paired with the Road Warriors the way he was, I don't think they still would have made a lot of money, but not nearly as much money with having him control the two monsters and beasts that turned out to be the Road Warriors.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an amazing combination for sure.
Yes.
So, but Adrian obviously was menaced by that record, and
we're going to give that poor man brain damage.
I'm not so sure that hasn't already happened. And if you doubt what I'm saying, be sure to check out Adrian's page on TikTok, where he does all sorts of lives and is conned into doing all sorts of things, including eating insects and hot stuff and whatnot. And it's a lot of fun and it's a good laugh. So,
yes,
by all means, information at the bottom of the screen. Check him out. But I just want to say to you, listen. I don't know what's going on here, but like, you got.
I don't know what's going on ever.
You got to stop with this. What you're doing with the Blue Flamer, okay? This has got to stop.
What? I don't even know who this guy is. I met him once at a toy show. And that toy show was over at Eternia Dreams, where he decided to just run up on the masked mullet. I have no idea where he came from. Do you know where he came from?
I don't want to know where he came from. What I'm telling you.
What do you mean you don't know where he came from?
Look,
we just can't have anybody willy-nilly showing up on our show and thinking that they can be part of the show.
Well, he wasn't. He's not on the show. I'm keeping him off the show. But somebody...
So you're the one who decides who gets on and off the show.
Oh, I didn't say that. I'm just saying that if LarMan didn't use him...
Who? What are you looking at me for? I don't know this guy. Does he owe you money?
You know, folks, I think we're done here for the day.
I don't know. Does he owe you money? Who is this LarMan that everybody keeps saying that I look like? I can't help that he has a gorgeous physique like I do.
Folks, that's it. We'll see. It's for Larry, it's Jim. For Jim, it's Larry. We'll see you next time.
I would like to meet this guy. We could high five.
All right, man. We gotta get done and get out of here before Jim gets here. He doesn't know we were doing this.
Oh, LarMan's gonna be so fresh.
I don't know why you would do this.
I'm not a big fan of LarMan.
Molly,
Oh,
what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing. It doesn't look like nothing. You've made a mess. What have you done to him?
He asked for this.
I'm beautiful. LarMan's gonna love me. I'm his brand new assistant. We're gonna get so much done, so much promotion.
You're not LarMan's assistant.
Oh, yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Adrian ain't here no more. Someone's gotta fill Adrian's big shoes.
Shush. Look, we're gonna get Adrian back. This has got to stop, okay? Look, and another thing. Look, listen. LarMan is not real, okay? It's Larry.
No, LarMan is real.
Look, it's just like Santa Claus or the
What? Cousin, where does he come?
Nothing. All good.
Of course I want the economy-sized pixie stick. What do you think I am, a crazy person?
It's about time you get here.
Oh, hang on, I'm being chastised for something. Yes?
Hey, who turned out the lights?
What?
This is all you.
How is that all me?
This is you. This is you. This is you. Will you just get over there and tell him you're LarMan, all right? I've had enough of this. This is ridiculous.
Okay. Time out. Whoa. All right. I know of LarMan. I've heard of LarMan. I've even seen him in the cute little sketches that you do. But I am not LarMan. I'm Larry. You know the difference? LarMan, Larry. LarMan, Larry. Not me. Me, Larry. Him, LarMan. Why do we constantly have this conversation? I have to take time out, sitting at a table, telling you that I am not LarMan. Do I look like LarMan?
Yes.
Do I have a cape like LarMan?
Probably.
Do I have goggles like LarMan?
Yes.
I clearly don't have the, well, he's probably just as genetically inclined as I am, but still, there is no LarMan and Larry. Period.
I can see that you're the same person.
How?
Because the mask is stupid. It's not a mask. It's a little pair of goggles and you are LarMan. Look, just tell him, look, he's dyed his hair. Adrian's left. This is ridiculous. You've got to stop this.
All right, first off, Adrian left because, he had issues with LarMan. Whatever this is, actually I kind of like that shade. It's a good shade for him. Don't you think it brings out his eyes and his mask and it makes him look all pretty?
Mullet, for Christ's sake, do something. You are LarMan.
You know what? I don't need to take this anymore. I'm the reason why everybody's here. I've had enough of this.
See what you've caused?
Why does everybody think I'm LarMan? Nobody thinks I'm LarMan? Of course people don't think I'm LarMan. Obviously people don't think I'm LarMan. Do I look like LarMan? Do I act like LarMan? Am I nice like LarMan? Do I care like LarMan? How do people even get a LarMan? I have an idea. Boy, that roof looks like it'd be a lot of fun to jump off.
In a world where people try to do stupid stunts that could get them hurt.
Someone needs public service announced.
Comes a man ready to catch him out of midair. That's right, it's LarMan.
It's LarMan! Well, Franklin, jumping off of roofs is not a really good idea. Well, it has nothing to do with the roof. It's the whole fact that my friends, or the people who say that they're my friends, don't believe me. Well, Alphonse, let me tell you, sometimes your friends aren't going to believe everything that you have to say. Did you build enough trust with them? Do they understand you? How deep do you know your friends? What do I do? How do I convince my friends that you and I are not the same person? You know what? You hold that right there. Just don't move, don't do anything. Hey guys! Why, of course, Poindexter. I've got all the time in the world. La la la, la la la. Wait a second. Somebody is going swimming after eating and not waiting a half hour. I gotta go.
So let me get this right. Tooth Fairy's real, Santa Claus is real, but LarMan isn't real?
LarMan is just Larry in a costume. It is not its own thing, okay? You are nobody's assistant. You've got to stop trying to take pills and do all this craziness and everything else. You're going to hurt yourself for no particular reason. He's not a superhero. It's Larry in an outfit.
Guys, you're not gonna believe this. He's right out back. I saw him with my own eyes. Couldn't believe it. It's LarMan. He's here. Let's go. Let's go. Why are you still sitting there? Let's go.
LarMan!
What the?
I'm coming, LarMan!
LarMan! LarMan! LarMan! LarMan!
LarMan?
What the heck's going on, man? Where'd you go? Where did you go? Don't you give me that look. Don't you? That's enough out of you. Don't you give me that look. LarMan! LarMan! LarMan!
LarMan!
Oh, go, you know, an imitation's a better form of flattery. LarMan!
I still believe it.
I thought you said nobody was supposed to abandon me! This is why I don't have friends.